But I think a lot of us are like that wizard, that we're not intentionally evil or malicious. We've just got caught up playing the part given to us. How we show up in our particular role is a part of who we are, but it's not all of who we are. As a therapist, I'm giving my clients my therapist self, and they don't get all of me. The path of maturity is not so much to tear down the curtains, but to find integration. There's a moment in The Wizard of Oz when everything shifts, when you realize that things are not what they seem. Dorothy and her friends are before this great and awesome Wizard of Oz. There's done their smoke, they're terrifying, they're shaking in their boots. But then Toto realizes that there's something behind the curtain, and he tugs and he pulls to reveal this nervous old man pulling the levers. He desperately tries to plead with them to pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, but it's too late. He's exposed. The wizard is found out to be this nervous old man. I think many of us have had similar moments where we have met with the preacher or ministry leader or leader to realize, oh, there's more to you. I thought you were someone great, and I was nervous and shaking in your presence to realize, oh, like you're just a man. There's someone behind the curtain that is unimpressive, certainly not as impressive as the man that we thought you were. And this caused us to start questioning, were we being deceived this whole time? Were we simply having the wool pull over our eyes, as it were? Is there a place for the curtains, or is it all deception? We live in a time in which we confuse privacy and hypocrisy, that we assume that everything should be known to everyone. But there's a place for privacy, and everything doesn't belong to everyone. Some things are private, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. As a therapist, I'm giving my clients my therapist self, and they don't get all of me. They don't get my private struggles. They don't get the ups and downs in my marriage. They get my integrity. And so the things that I give to them are aligned, are integrated. And so I'm not telling them in session to be faithful to their wife while I'm being unfaithful to my wife. And so there should be some congruence, some harmony with who I am outside of session, with who I am in session, but still who I am in session is just a small part of who I am. And they don't get the totality of who I am. And so there's a curtain in my private life that they don't get access to. And we all have similar curtains, whatever our role is. And so whether we're in leadership or even just at home, that how we show up in our particular role is a part of who we are, but it's not all of who we are. And there's things outside that window, outside of the front stage that everyone sees that are in our private life. The question is not so much, is there something in our private life, but what is in our private life? And is there consistency? Is there harmony between what's in our private life and then what we show everyone publicly? There's a difference between privacy and secrecy. Privacy is simply things that are not open to public consumption. And so when we go to the bathroom, we generally prefer some level of privacy. It's not secret what we're doing in there. Everyone knows what we're doing, but we prefer some privacy as we do it. Secrecy is generally those things that I want to hide, because if it was known, it would contradict what we're projecting publicly. And so our secret sins would be of that sort, that we're not just keeping things private, we're keeping them secret, because if it was known, it would cause damage to our public image, to our integrity. And so reminded of the story in the Old Testament of Achan, where his secret sin, he was hiding a treasure that was not his to hide in his tent. And it caused the whole camp of the Israelites to suffer. Men died because of his secret sin. And so it wasn't so much that he had a tent and presumably some level of privacy, but what he had in his tent was hidden, was secret, things that he was not supposed to have, and it cost men their lives. And the same would be true for us, that while there's a place for privacy, if we hide things in a secret way, like Achan did, things that are not ours to hide, to hold on to, it can have detrimental consequences for others, ourselves and for others. But I think a lot of us are like that wizard, that we're not intentionally evil or malicious. We've just got caught up of playing the part given to us or playing the part expected of us. And so we're trying to maintain this image, but the man behind the curtain hasn't caught up to that image yet. We've not been formed internally yet. And so we're just trying to maintain this image. We're pulling the levers without being formed ourselves. And in time, if that gets exposed, it feels like a contradiction. It feels like a deception. But our heart of hearts, we're not trying to deceive. We're just trying to maintain this image that was given to us. And so our challenge in the path of maturity is not so much to tear down the curtains, but to find integration. And so how do we allow the man behind the curtain to match the man in front of the curtain? And so we don't have to deny that there is a man behind the curtain. We do have a private life, but that private life, in that private life, we are being formed, we are being shaped, we are cultivating, we are stewarding ourselves so that there's greater consistency between who we are behind the curtain and who we are public facing. Our wizard, as it were, the image that we're giving to others, the role that we're playing in their lives, there is consistency there, there's harmony there. We're not secretly hiding something as if the role is all we are, and we're pretending that that's it, that we are the wizard and only but the wizard. Yes, we are the wizard, and we're also the man behind the curtain. We do have humanity, a sense of self behind the different roles that we play, and that's okay. And it's okay for that to be private. You don't have to expose everything. That's not wise or mature to expose everything in your life to everyone. You have to earn that right or earn that privilege or have that right to have everything exposed. And not everyone has that. And so it's okay to play that role for others while maintaining that privacy in your own life. And that's not inconsistent. That's not being inconsistent. There is a level of maturity and wisdom that comes with that. And so the invitation for you is not to destroy your curtain, but to purify your tent. If there's something in your tent that doesn't belong, by all means, purify that. If there's something in your soul that is unbecoming the man that God has called you to be, by all means, purify that. But that doesn't mean that you have to destroy the curtain, but do purify your inner man so that there is greater harmony there. So that what's behind the curtain is a man who is in the process of being formed, becoming all that God has called him to be, and we're not simply performing these different roles. We're not simply being the man pulling the levers, but we are being formed into the men who are able to bring more life and goodness into the world around us.